The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
This Week in Pro Wrestling History. I am Noel Lagrasso, and I am here with Skull Von Crush. It's important to say that in this episode. Former WWE, WCW, TNA superstar, Big Vito Lagrasso. How are you today, husband Oman?
Hope everybody's doing good in the hood. Hope everybody's doing great. Welcome to the Big Vito brand and the new show we got going on.
This week in Pro Wrestling History. So, we're on the Realm Network. It's not really the Big Vito brand. It's the Russo brand.
Who?
That's okay.
Who?
I'm not doing this again.
Who?
V, I'm not doing this again.
Pancakes.
I'm not doing this again. Okay? You got me all messed up because you switched sides on me and I had everything set to the other side. So now I got to move everything over to this side. And this is why this side doesn't work. See that? You had to sit on that side. Fill in the people while you're sitting here because I've got to reset everything.
You know, guys, when people can't be professional, we set up, I'm the face that runs the...
Do you know who's not professional? You, because you chose to sit on the side I need to be on for this timeline to work. So now you can sit there and just deal with it.
So today was a good day. We actually got some pool time in. Got some getting color.
Oh.
So while we had some pool time, I just got back from the gym, getting ready to move on with my day. First, we're going to do a little recording, then I'm out. So why don't we talk about what you need to talk about for the Vince Russo Realm Network show that ain't on the go because it's not with Big Vito and the brand. Okay.
May 11th, 1988, WWE ran a marathon wrestling challenge taping in Rochester, Minnesota. An incredible 31 matches were done for a 4-episode set, no match lasting longer than 4 minutes. This was the longest tape match, aired on June 3rd. It was in the 3rd set of episodes. Coco Beware needed 3 minutes and 50 seconds to pin Rick Renshaw. So this week, Vito, what I would like to talk about with you is WWF Wrestling Challenge Superstars Primetime Wrestling tapings. What it's like to be part of that and to be an enhancement talent in the late 80s, early 90s during the pre-Monday Night War eras where your matches were basically superstar against enhancement talent. I want to know what that's like. I want to know how you started in enhancement. I want you to give everybody the difference between a Raw match, and I'll get into all of this. So are you ready to go?
I'm ready to go. So you're talking about when wrestling was completely different.
100% different.
150% different.
And I think better.
It definitely was better. The characters alone that you had, and the fact that we need an enhancement talent to make those guys look good was a no-brainer. That's the way you set up angles and built characters and built personas and did everything correctly in the wrestling business. It's not like today where you go to a training facility and there you are. You actually learn how to wrestle in territories. You come, you earn your keep, you earn your contract, you earn your spot.
So
everybody starts off as an enhancement talent. There is no special pudding or no special bread. Nobody puts the brass ring in your cup and says, hey, you're going to be a star. You're going to be a star.
You're going to be a big star.
All right, go ahead.
Okay. So my first question is, how did you become enhancement talent?
I was robbed.
What?
I was on the road to superstardom, and I got on the wrong bus, son. I got on the wrong bus.
You got on the bus that said, not the one that says to get a job. You just got on the one that said to job, right? And then that was the wrong bus.
Bus to job.
Yeah, bus to job. So you took the jobber bus to Pennington. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Guys?
Give me the real story.
Like I always tease people on Facebook and I call everybody a jobber. Mm-hmm. Well, back then, it's between us.
Just between us and you guys.
I see more lights than goddamn Broadway and Japan put together.
Oh, babe. Do I
sure.
need to hold you? Come here. Oh, my God. You were a jobber. Oh, my God, babe.
My shoulders got dirty.
Oh, my God.
I needed surgery.
Oh, my God. Did you get a sunburn?
No, somebody gave me friggin' suntan lotion, but my back got a little ring burns on it.
Oh, no, babe. Oh, my God. You were a jobber. It's okay. It's going to be okay. Can you hold it together?
Is that all right?
Are you all right? You okay? Let me wait. Let me check your pulse. Job. Yeah, it's still there. You're good. You're all right. The heartbeat of a jobber is beating in that chest right now.
It was a long time ago. So I still got emotional scars. I'm coming to bring it back.
I got you. You got it.
Bring it back.
You got this.
Ma! The meatloaf!
All right. So we're back. You can have a little meatloaf. We're all right. You got your little meatloaf robe. Okay. So really, how did you become a jobber?
I was at Johnny Rod's school, and my first actual enhancement match was with the beautiful Bobby Eaton in WCW. Johnny called me in the office and said WCW needs talent, so I'm sending you to Baltimore. And I was like, what? He says, you're going to WCW. I said, okay. So
yes, Mom.
So, and then as I was doing more and more indie shows with Johnny Rods and Tommy Jeanette, Sonny Blaze, who's my good friend Al Schaefer,
hi, Al.
He suggested me, he said, hey, Vito, would you like to come to WWF TV tapings? I said, yeah, sure. I said, okay. So I met up with the guys, took my name, number, got the information, and then that was it.
Yeah, so you went to the WWE Superstars taping, correct? That was your first taping with Superstars. What was your first match?
The Rockers.
The Rockers. And who was your partner?
A guy named Al Coleman. Now, this guy was a total idiot.
Definition of a jobber?
He was the definition of a J-Bo.
What's his name? Al Coleman?
Al Coleman.
Al Coleman.
Hi,
Al Coleman.
This guy, I was in the van my first trip. It's me and Al Schaefer in the front. Mike Iorio, the Dublin Destroyer. You had Al Coleman. And
there was somebody else with you.
Pete Weeks. So you had all those guys in the truck. All those guys were way bigger than I was. Al Coleman was riding me so much that he was one stupid son of a bitch. He was a corrections officer. And here we are driving down the road.
You had a problem with him at the building because
he thought it was his big chance to be a star and be like, yeah, brother, I'll take this. I said, okay, go ahead. So he showed his skills. There were none.
Did he take the rocker dropper or did you take it?
No, I took it because the guys said, get him out of here. Come on in here, Vito. And that's how I met Sean and Michael. Sean and Marty. And from there, the guys seen that I could wrestle. My next match was against Bret Hart for the Intercontinental Championship. It was his first TV match. But getting back to Al Coleman.
Yeah, I was going to say, finish your Al Coleman.
So after the Al Coleman thing, we were going back and forth, and I told him, I said, you totally suck. I said, you were horrible. I mean, you're freaking terrible.
Because this is what you do.
This is what I do, and I could back up my shit. And back then, I backed it up. There was nobody who could beat me, nobody better than me. I believed it. I went through with it. I totally endorsed it.
You were not the lighthearted jobber that you are today. Okay. You were a vicious enhancement talent then.
Well, you talk about learning how to shoot and learning how to come out of Johnny Rod's school. I'm fresh. I got all the tools. I know I'm busted. So here comes Al Coleman, but we're on the way home, and he's freaking giving it to me, and he's razzing me. Finally, I said, Al, stop the van on 278 East. I said, listen, motherfucker, reading is fundamental. You should go to Riff, you dumb bastard. Al, stop the truck now. Vito. He says, come on. I said, stop the truck. I had enough.
He was that dumb you had to tell him reading was fundamental.
Reading was fundamental. That was it.
Y'all remember Riff from school, reading is fundamental, where they give you little books? Vito uses that as an insult in the 90s.
Best story. Reading is fundamental, you dumb bastard. So we had to get gas. Off to the side we pull. Out of the truck I come. Okay, motherfucker, get out of the goddamn truck. They all just looked at me and said, okay, now what do you got to say? Let's fucking go right now. Right here, right now, let's do this. I'm going to crack your fucking head open. They just looked at me, and here's this big monster. Calm down, man. I said, no, fuck you, and fuck you. I'm going to kick the shit out of you. I said, I had enough of you fucking... You get the gist of it.
Yeah.
So, anyway.
You reading enhancement talent.
So from that moment on, word spread. I have nobody to fuck with. And I go to wrestle. I do my wrestling. Word spread. Don't fuck with Skull Von Crush.
Now, your first match, you weren't Skull Von Crush, though. Well, you were in WCW, but I mean, your first WWF taping. Were you Vito Cruz?
Vito Cruz or Von Crush.
Yeah, Von Cross. You were Von Cross without the H. And you were also, a lot of people don't know this, you were Vito Cruz.
Vito Cruz.
And we laugh about that quite frequently, that you were, because it's funny that you're Vito Cruz.
You know,
That's
that kid was something. He was a blue chipper.
Blue chipper, I understand. I hear this all the time. Blue chipper. Okay, so my next question for you is this, Vito. So behind the scenes, what is the difference between, say, wrestling on a Superstars or a Wrestling Challenge to, say, a Raw taping? Because you were at the first Raw tapings as well. You wrestled Typhoon and Tatanka and Lord knows who else, your team Lara, Mike Sharp, but you were on a lot of episodes of Wrestling Challenge Superstars and Primetime Wrestling additionally. So what is the difference between working a live Raw match and a taped Superstars Wrestling Challenge match?
Well, Wrestling Superstars matches are usually taped at the TV tapings, and you know you're going to be there all day in the building, opposed to the Monday nights when you're going to go on live TV, and you know there's 3 hours of television, so you know in those 3 hours you're going to be on TV. Opposed to being 12 hours in a building, where you get in there at 12, you leave at 12.
And just to interrupt you, for a moment, we're talking about a Wrestling Superstars in '88 that had 31 matches. How is that compared, just to interject, how is that compared to your 12 hours of just taping? I mean, that's 31 matches is a lot of matches in a show.
It's a lot of paper.
Yeah, that's a lot of paper, man.
Guys, that's the way the wrestling business was, and that's all you learned. And everybody took it as, oh, you're a jobber, you're this, you're that. You know what? That was the best education and the best training you could ever get, because I wrestled Bret Hart, the Boss Man, the Legion of Doom, Tatanka, Virgil, Typhoon, High Energy, tag with Mike Sharp, the Rockers. I got to be in there with the best of the best, be in the dressing room with the best of the best. And because they liked me and they know that I had a good pedigree and where I came from, they treated me like one of the boys. They didn't treat me like one of the J-Bos. And because I was tough and I was cocky and they liked that, and I dressed in the, back then, all enhancement talent dressed outside in the hallway. Not Skull Von Crush, you dressed in the dressing room.
That was going to be my next question. Were you treated differently as enhancement talent?
Yes.
So a lot of people were taken outside. They had to dress in the hallway or the bathrooms, kind of got the Miz treatment for a while. And you never did. Who invited you in the locker room for the first time?
I just walked in. Swear to God.
Didn't you tell me that the Nasty Boys said Baldy come?
Well, it was, I walked in there, and the guys looked at me and, hey, Baldy, what's going on? come here, kid, let me show you this. And hey, kid, let's show you that. Look at Baron Von Raschke.
I was going to say, you look like Baron Von Raschke. That's probably what got you in the locker.
So, I mean...
you looked exactly like him back then,
Just
too.
the fact that I walked in the dressing room and Johnny always told me, act like one of the boys, don't be any different, be yourself, walk in, put your stuff down, shake hands, do your stuff. That's what I did, and that's how I was accepted. Plus the fact they knew I could wrestle, I could bump, and I was willing. It wasn't like there were some of the other guys who just were like...
You were a young Skull Murphy.
I was Skull Murphy. I was the Skullster.
Most people don't even know who Skull Murphy is, but...
Gorilla Monsoon did.
Gorilla Monsoon knew he's Skull. It's because Gorilla Monsoon wrestled, and he was Skull Murphy.
Yeah.
Look Skull Murphy up, kids. It's a good education.
And a good thing to know, guys, is that, a lot of great announcers announced my matches, like Gorilla Monsoon, Bobby Heenan, Mean Gene Okerlund, Vince McMahon,
Mr. Perfect.
Paul Heyman, Mr. Perfect, the Macho Man.
Yeah, the Macho Man.
So you're talking all
And some not so great announcers, Rob Bartlett, Joey Styles. Go ahead.
No, we're talking about back then.
Yeah, I know, but I'm just saying. Rob Bartlett did announce one here.
So, enhancement. Anyway, guys, you're talking about the great announcers of that era got to, take part in your matches. And, they would come up to you, hey, kid, you did really good out there. That was pretty good. And they would all notice how I bumped, how I interacted, how I moved in the ring. They watched me wrestle. They watched me sell. They watched me do what I was supposed to do. And then when I was given offense, I did the offense, to the way it was supposed to be done, old school wrestling, because that's the way you were taught. You were taught one way, it's done one way, everything is one way.
Just so you're aware, there's no enhancement on me. I was born with these boobs. Next thing,
Mm-hmm.
walk me through a typical TV taping day for SmackDown and or not SmackDown. I apologize. Superstars and Wrestling Challenge.
Well, I mean, it was like the other stuff. You go to the hotel, you go to the gym. It's nothing ever changes. Go to the hotel, go to the gym.
Well, give me when you first get to the building. What is the difference? Like that's what I'm trying to get from you. Like, what is the difference between
back then? You went. And everybody made a beeline to go see Arnie Skolin to go get your draw. So everybody used to take a $250 draw.
Oh, everybody across the board.
Everybody across the board. So they had cash in briefcases there because they used to give you cash for the road. So you would get money on the house show, and then you would get money for...
And you would get the check later. So you went to Arnold Skolin and you got your cash draw, which was $250 across the board. Then what? Did you see what the lineup was, or
then you go
give a fan a?
Then you go and look at the cardboard things of the lineups, and you get to see what show you're on, what sheet you're on. They had to be like 8 to 12 to 15 sheets of cardboard this big that that had matches on it, and you had to wait to see where you were. Sometimes you wrestle for 2 hours. Sometimes you wrestle to the end of the show. Sometimes you got lucky and you wrestled in the first segment and you were done.
Did you leave or did you stay?
Most of it you stayed because
you
had to wait. You traveled in a pack, so you left in a pack. And back then, being driving with guys, eventually, I was driving to towns by myself.
Were you really?
Yeah.
Who was some of the superstars that you rolled with back in those superstar days? Other than the other enhancement talent, like Al.
There really was nothing. I drove with Lanny Poffo one time because I needed a ride to the town. Really nobody. And then if you were on the road, like when we did Independence back then outside WWE, I drove with Snuka, Cousin Luke, S.D. Jones, and those.
S.D. Jones is another famous enhancement talent.
Jim Powers was another guy. Barry Horowitz was another guy. Mike Sharp was another guy.
Yeah, pretty legendary. Dwayne Gill, that was another one that worked back then. I was going to get into some other things, but you mentioned Barry Horowitz, and you just recently watched that little documentary that they did about Barry Horowitz, the Jobber documentary.
Everybody says the Jobber documentary. I thought it was a great documentary, and it brought back a lot of great memories to me.
It was called The Jobber's Tale.
Jobber's Tale, but it brought back a lot of great memories because I saw a lot of guys who I did wrestle with, and that's when wrestling was wrestling to me, not what today is. And when you saw the wrestling that was put on and how they did it back then, You appreciate it a whole lot more than you do today.
So why do you think fans say jobber like it's a derogatory term? Like every once in a while you hear someone go, well, he was just a jobber. But you all got paid the same draw across the board. Everybody get a paycheck. Why do you think they use it as such a derogatory?
Number one, that's because kayfabe went out the window. Social media got a hold of all the technology, and it wasn't a closed carny circuit no more, where you used to talk carny in the dressing room. You had to learn how to talk, and that was very important, and everything was in code. Everything was super kayfabe. Everything, you had to live by the code. You had to live by the rules.
Do you talk carny at all?
I used to talk carny all the time, but it is what it is. It's a lost art, guys, like everything today. It's a lost art.
So the fans kind of just took that term and made it into a derogatory, but that's not what it really was. Enhancement talent were very valued.
No, it was guys who did, I think it was Stan Hansen who said we're all carpenters.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't forget those guys. And if it wasn't for the guys, like a Jose Estrada, a Johnny Raz, a Jose Luis Rivera, a Sonny Beach, a Mike Sharp, a Barry Horowitz, a Barry O, a Dwayne Gill, a Skull Von Crush, Mick Foley.
There was a lot of them just
there was a Bret Hart that was an enhancement talent. Everybody started out. Owen Hart started out as an enhancement talent. Everybody started out as an enhancement talent, guys. Nobody starts out as a star. So that's what I'm trying to get across is just depending on where you were and where you were ranked, until somebody took you and placed you in another territory, so okay, we're going to give you a push. That's when you got your credibility, and that's when you became somebody.
So you started out with a lot of guys that were jobbers or enhancement talent that later became big names. You named just a couple, like Owen Hart or whatever, but that's a little bit before. You had the
Hardy Boys.
Hardy Boys were PJ. X-Pac. PJ was Just Incredible was.
Just Incredible.
Who else? Tony DeVito.
Tony DeVito was always a job.
I'm just saying that went out of
he was there during that time.
Yeah, he was there during that time, but there was a lot.
And Mike Bell was there.
Mike Bell did a lot. People don't realize Mike Bell actually main evented Raw with Viscera back in the day.
Stevie Richards.
Stevie Richards was another one that went up.
But
a young Scotty Flamingo, Raven.
Scotty Flamingo, Scotty Too Hottie.
Scotty Too Hottie. A lot of the cruiserweights in WWE started that way because they were smaller. The other guys looked bigger, and then they moved the cruiserweights up, and a lot of those guys got contracts.
Guys, there are a lot of guys out there who made a living as being an enhancement talent, being a star maker. There's a handful of us who went from star makers to being a superstar. And not that it's, not that you get comfortable being a jobber, I'm just doing that. But for some of us, you want more and you want to be more than that. And I think that's where the difference for me is to be more and do more than that.
So I think that's kind of almost everybody's goal, but some people were perfectly happy being that, and then on the indies they were something else, like an Italian Stallion. You remember the Italian Stallion and guys like that? Jim.
We talked about Jim Powers. He had a great body, good look, couldn't wrestle, and he was up and down on the card. Him and Paul Roma used to be a tag team, and it's just.
What was the name of their tag team? Young Stallions.
Young Stallions.
Yeah.
Guys, it's just a matter of, somebody taking a liking to you and just, doing your thing.
Yeah, that's the truth. So we come to the part of the show. I want to know if you have any jobber hookup stories. Do you have any enhancement hookup stories that you could tell,
Savaldi's. I was at a Savaldi taping, and Gina Caruso was at Kodiak Bear was there. There's a couple more enhancement guys.
Oh yeah, Gina Caruso. I didn't think of that one.
Lindsay Owen was an enhancement guy. Mm-hmm. So we're all at this TV taping for Mara Savaldi for WCCW, and I'm sitting at the dining room, and there was this redheaded lady, young girl, And I'm making faces at her. She's making faces at me. And she's sitting there wearing wrestlers. So Gina Cruz making a skull. She see me, right? She gave me the eye. I said, I see it. I got it. So she goes, what are you going to do? I said, I'm going to fuck her. So he goes, no, you're not. The fucking guy sitting right there. I said, oh, shit. And the skull stuff. So
You love the skull star giving.
I looked at her, I gave her an answer. And she goes, so I got up, I went. She got up, she went. She followed me to the elevator. My room was at the end. Wham bam, thank you, ma'am. Came back. Gino Caruso was dying. Kodiak Bear was dying.
Do you know who she was with?
I don't remember the name. He was a jobber.
you just did it. He was a jobber.
But they couldn't believe I pulled it off. And they said, I can't believe you just did it. I said, yeah.
So you literally snuck her around the corner, banged her, and sent her back.
You know why?
Go ahead. Why?
All because everybody thought I was a regular on WWF TV.
Because you were. It's okay. Because you were. Go ahead and say it. Go ahead.
J-Bo City!
He was a jobber, folks. Vito.
Meatloaf! Ma!
Vito LaGrasso. Oh. What was that about? I just got my hair done. It's
All right, what do we got to
Good
close the
job.
show, brother?
I want you to tell one more hookup story. Because we had told this previously, way back when we started the Big Vito brand. And somebody brought it up to me recently. I realized we have never told this story on the Rome Network, on the Russo brand. Can you please tell the Little Louie story?
Okay.
And I'm going to intercede with questions that the fans may have.
So, we're at the show, and it's me, Angel, Jimmy Snuka, Little Louie, and we're up in Maine somewhere. So, guys leave me with Jimmy Snuka. All right, let's go. You're with Jimmy. I said, so you guys crazy? I can't drink. He's going to drink Malibu and rum and all night long.
Vito was not a drinker.
Not a drinker.
Was not a
So
drinker.
there I was, drinking with Jimmy Snuka. And Little Louie's wife.
Is Little Louie's wife little?
No,
Okay.
she normal.
She's a normal size. Okay, go ahead.
So she's out on the dance floor. I said, "I'm gonna go dance with Little Louie's wife."
So he's going to go dance with Little Louie's wife. Proceed.
So I'm dancing with Little Louie's wife, and we're getting it together, and as soon as I was ready to make the move, out from under the bar, who comes? Little Louie. Hey, what are you doing? You dancing with my wife? I said, yeah, why? Why don't you go fucking somewhere else? This is my wife. I said, Louie, she wants a full-size man tonight. Come on, give her a break.
Now, is Little Louie related to Nunzio? Because apparently they have the same
Same
tone in
voice,
their
same
voice.
time.
Same voice. Okay, go ahead. Just wanted to double check. Go ahead.
So then we go back to the hotel we're staying in, and Little Louie's niece is there.
Is Little Louie's wife little? I mean, niece?
No, she full size.
She's regular size. Go ahead, proceed.
So Kid Onion and Angel and me are in the room. And
They don't know Kid Onion.
Kid USA.
Kid USA is
So-
Kid Onion.
I gave him the name Kid Onion. Anyway, so we're sitting there, and they're trying to get with her and everything, and I'm saying, I had enough of this. I'm going to bed. So I go to bed. Evidently, they banged the living hell out of her. She didn't show up home. Little Louie comes up to me the next day and goes, hey, you German? Huh? First you trying to fuck my wife, then you go and fuck my niece. What the fuck? I said, it wasn't me. I didn't touch her. I said, I went to bed. You're a fucking liar. You fucked my niece. Why don't you just fucking leave it alone? I said, Louie, there's those two guys over there. Two guys, not one. You guys fucked my niece. No, Louie, it was fucking Skull. I knew it. You fucked my niece and you tried to fuck my wife. What's the moral of the story? I'm a fuck.
You're a fuck. He's a fucking jobber. And that's the moral of the story. Now, we mentioned Nunzio because apparently they have the same voice, Little Louie and Nunzio. Next week's episode is going to be a very special episode. March 16th, 2016, Big Vito and Nunzio, as the FBI, are defeated by Paul London and the Brian Kendrick on Velocity. Next week, I want to talk to you about your partnership and longtime friendship with Nunzio. This goes back further than people even realize, deeper than people realize. Nunzio was even at our wedding. So,
The meatloaf! Ma!
So that's that. So yes, that is this week in pro wrestling history. Please check us out on Twitch at twitchtv.com. Twitch TV dot, what is that thing? Twitch TV dot the Big Vito brand, Anchor FM, the Big VitoBrand.com. And we will see you next week on This Week in Pro Wrestling History. May the job be with you.
Jobs. I did jobs.
You did
Jobs. Oh, God. God, nightmares. Oh, God.
It's okay.
They won't come and pin me again, will they?
No,
Oh.
I promise that they won't.
Thank you.
I might later, though.
Thank you.
It's kind of hot in this
Thank
room.
you.
It's not a mic. This is Versace.
The meatloaf! Ma!
This is Versace.